Welcome to our final response and recovery call of the year 2020, and what a wild year it has been. Thank you very much to those of you who keep joining week after week to keep up with the changing reality and the wilderness that is this year and that will continue into next year. For those of you who are joining for the first time, my name is Bettina Swigger and I'm the CEO of Downtown SLO. So we've got, I think we might have a smaller group today, given that it is Christmas this week. But we welcome you regardless of whether you're joining for the first time, you haven't tuned in for a while, or if you're with us every week. So I hope everybody's doing well. I tried to be a little festive with my holiday earrings today I see a Santa hat. Excellent. Thank you, Jackie. Of course, we have the festive Mission Plaza in the background. So we're going to share some information with you this morning. And just a reminder, we are not going to be meeting next week. Our office is closed for the week between Christmas and New Year's. Our next meeting will be January 4th. Although, of course, the emergency staff will be working at the city and at the county. So if anything happens, make sure you're following those agencies as well to figure out what's going on in the moment. But we'd love to see you all on January 4th. We'll have some great content update from the SLO Museum of Art about a new public art program that's going to be going live there. And also some updates from the Economic Vitality Corporation, the EVC, and REACH, who you may have heard about last week, decided to join forces. This is your board of directors, and thank you all to those of you who are on the board. This has been a wild year, and I really appreciate your leadership, thought, and care during this time. I'm sorry we can't have a fun Christmas party to celebrate, but I celebrate you nonetheless. And if those of you out there are representatives who are in a management or ownership position in a business that is inside of the business improvement area, you are eligible to run for the board of directors. So we're looking for nominees at this time. It's a great time to join the board because while many of our programs are suspended and our event-related programs are changing constantly, it's also a time of reinvention for our organization and for our downtown. So if you're interested, or if you think of somebody else that you think would be a good candidate, please let us know and email us at reachus@downtownslo.com. We've seen the creativity and imagination that you all have used in your businesses to get through this year, and we'd love to bring that to the table for our organization. So with that, I want to remind everybody that Light Up Downtown, the centerpiece in Mission Plaza, is going strong, and it will be going through January 10th. Elements will be coming in and coming out. So we're going to be hopefully subbing out some elements to add for more of a New Year's flair. But the Christmas theme has really brought some joy to our community. And if you head to Mission Plaza over the next week or so, you might even see it snow. So a big thank you to Amber Carson from Carson Butler Events and to the City of SLO for making this activation possible. And I also want to publicly thank the San Luis Obispo Collection, notably Therese Cron, for their sponsorship of Santa's House and the Holiday Tree. If you haven't yet done the Search for Santa's Mouse, our partnership with the San Luis Obispo Children's Museum, highly recommend that you do. It's a really fun program, and it's a great way for kids to explore the downtown. So exciting to see. And we're excited about ways that we might be able to use Mission Plaza in ways that haven't been traditionally done, because COVID is, of course, still a reality that we are living with. And with that, I'm going to invite Rachel to tell us a little bit about what today's reality is. Rachel?
Thank you, Bettina. As of Friday, 8,460 cases of COVID-19 have been reported in our county, with the city accounting for 1,884 of those cases. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 is 59 in the county. Last week, I reported 46. So that is 13 more people who are no longer with us, and our condolences go out to their families and the friends of those individuals. On Friday, with a little bit of a bright line coming out, local frontline healthcare workers were among the first to get the COVID-19 vaccine in the county. And this marks the beginning of the local vaccine distribution, although we know that that will definitely take some time. So with that, testing is available for all symptomatic and those who are asymptomatic who may have been exposed. On the next slide, we remain under the stay-at-home order, and we see that 4 of the 5 regions are now under the stay-at-home order as well, dropping under the 15% ICU capacity, with our region, for example, now being at 0% ICU capacity, as well as the San Joaquin Valley, and then with the Bay Area above us at 12.4% ICU capacity. These numbers were updated yesterday, so they're updated more frequently. So this number will be changing every day as people pass, and that opens up more ICU capacity. That's how that number is fluctuating, or people leave the ICU and are able to return home to their families. This button was also added on readyslo.org, and the feature allows you to see how many ICU beds are currently available in our county. We know that as the situation becomes more dire, more and more people are wondering, what is the ICU capacity in SLO County? And as I know, we've been hearing in the news that this is hitting SLO County as well. With that, Bettina, I will turn it back over to you.
Great, thank you, Rachel. And I do want to point out that the ICU capacity number is complicated. It doesn't just refer to the number of actual patients who are in the ICU related to COVID, but it also relates to staffing issues. So while there are ICU beds that exist in our county, that doesn't mean that there are ready staff to go out and staff 59 ICU beds at any time. Or 53 ICU beds rather. So I encourage you, if you have questions about this, to attend the weekly SLO County public health briefings. Dr. Borenstein has done a pretty good job of explaining that, and I think they've changed their schedule a little bit for this week and for the holiday, but there are lots of resources available if you have questions about this. We are not a public health agency. We just try weekly to try to decipher what is driving the decisions that are affecting your businesses so much. So with that in mind, you may have also heard that late last night, the federal relief package was finally passed by Congress and the Senate, and is expected to be signed into law later today. I did a little bit of reading last night. It's a huge $900 billion stimulus deal, so there's a lot in there to unpack. This is very much my bullet point, what I read about on Twitter this morning while I was drinking my coffee. So more information is gonna be unspooled as we go throughout the day and as we go throughout the week. The deal does include restarting that $300 boost to the federal unemployment insurance benefit, which is definitely good news for those of you who are affected by, or in businesses that are affected by the most recent shutdown. That will help your employees if they are no longer able to work. They will be getting that $300 a week benefit. Eviction moratoriums are also extended, although it's for an unspecified amount of time. So I'll be looking ahead to that number, as we know that that's going to be something that affects us quite seriously, especially in the state of California, where we have a homelessness crisis already. So something to think about, but for the time being, it looks like some of the 12 million people who are on unemployment will have a little bit extra money to help them through the very dark days of the winter that we're going to see in the next couple of months. Good news for businesses is that the Paycheck Protection Program will be extended. So though many of you on this call received funds through the PPP, and that will be extended. So details will be coming out through the Small Business Center soon, SBDC. So on January 4th, we'll have somebody from the SBDC available to share how you can apply, or you can go through the same process that you did back in July when you were going through this, June, July, whenever you applied before. Some good news for local newspapers and broadcasters and nonprofits, they will now be eligible. No word yet on whether that includes 501c6s. I'm going to be doing some research about that later today. And it also includes an additional $20 billion to grants for small businesses. Again, more information will come out about that later. It also includes $15 billion to live event venues. And this is critically important for our downtown. We know that the arts and events have been impacted more than any other industry. In fact, impacted greatly, I should say. In fact, our organization, which usually earns revenue through events, has been greatly impacted as well. You may remember that we had to do extensive layoffs, and our bottom line continues to be impacted by this. So great news. We know that people come downtown to see concerts, to see theater, and when they're down here, they go out to eat and they shop. So glad to see that. There is going to be a direct payment for many people of $600, and that would be reduced for people who earn more than $75,000, or rather who did earn $75,000 in 2019. So very similar to the last round of stimulus checks. It also includes increased funding for vaccine distribution and testing, which is of course critically important, and increased benefits for SNAP, which is what a lot of people who are food insecure rely on in this economy. So that's kind of it in the nutshell, but I'm sure that you can hear people more qualified than I am to discuss this in greater detail. Do tune in and see what's happening. I predict that they'll probably be signing this into law in a few minutes. We have been engaged in some CAPSLO, our new partnership with CAPSLO, doing some homeless outreach, speaking of people who are really in need of some support. And this program started November 30th, and it was funded by a grant from the city of San Luis Obispo. Pictured here, you can see Maria and Cecil. These are our two outreach workers. They have been doing outreach now for 3 weeks, and they've had a wonderful impact. They're out there almost every day, 5 days a week. Their service has been interrupted a little bit due to an outbreak at the 40 Prado homeless shelter. So just so you know, that is impacting our shelters. This pandemic is really affecting anybody and everybody. So we did invite somebody from the police department. Sergeant Dickel is with us today. And we're hoping that you can shed a little bit of light about how your business can deal with some of the issues that might be coming out in light of the increased homeless population downtown, as well as just some other issues that are facing our downtown. Sergeant Dickel, are you out there?
I am.
Hi, nice to see you. Thanks for being with us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Well, I can't see everybody, but I just do want to introduce myself. My name is Jason, and this is Jason Dickel. I'm a sergeant with the police department, and I am your liaison for the downtown. I'm excited to take on this role. It's actually not that new to me, but with coronavirus, as we've been talking about, has made things very interesting over the last, what's it been, 8 months now, 9 months? And so I've been back and forth a lot, but I'm back in my spot now, and I'm looking forward to helping you guys out wherever I can and meeting everybody. I'll be out and about downtown today, so if you see me, make sure to say hi. We're actually fielding officers every day just in downtown right now from 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. Throughout January 3rd, so throughout the holiday season, to add a little extra support in downtown. On top of that, you should see the bike team will be out during the daytime. As most of you are familiar with, there's 2 officers during the daytime on bikes in downtown covering, I think it's Monday through Saturday. And then at night, Wednesday through Saturday night, there's another 2 officers on the downtown bike team. And in addition to the CAT team, which is the community action team, which deals specifically and 100% devoted to getting people services. They don't just work in our downtown, but they do spend some time down there. But with recent events like having Light Up Downtown going on, it's been interesting where a lot of the businesses are closed, and at least the hours are maybe different. And so I think probably what a lot of you have been experiencing is what seems like a uptick or an increase in some negative transient or homeless issues in the downtown. I think for all of us, we notice it more now with less other people down there. And then now as we started Light Up Downtown, bringing more people back into downtown, then all of a sudden it became an issue again, which is what led to fielding these extra officers out every day. The 2 officers that are working the 11 to 9, they should be out on foot for most of the time. So although you may not see them, but they're walking the creek, walking up and down Higuera and Marsh and all those side streets, trying to make a good visible presence and making contact with a lot of our regular problematic people, and wherever we can, if there's some violation of law, or we're working on moving them to where they should be. It's really tough right now with the jail. With a lot of changes in the last 8 months, but certainly in the last year, a lot of crimes that we would normally be able to act on and arrest people out of our downtown that are causing issues for your businesses. They either aren't crimes now due to them being legislated out, or the jail's not even accepting any low-level crimes right now. So it's just really limiting what we're even able to do legally with some of these problems. But so essentially, we're out there and we're excited to get involved with you guys. And if there's anything that I could do, um, if you don't have it already, I'll make sure to get it out to everybody, and I'll be out and about tonight talking to a lot of the businesses. But I have a downtown sergeant cell phone, which will be great for you guys to be able to contact. And then the best contact for me is usually my email address, because that goes to my personal cell phone, which I can get on my days off, and then at least be aware of what's going on. But the quickest contact to the police department is always going to be through the non-emergency line to get some more immediate service. But I'm excited to take on this role. I really don't have much else that I wanted to touch base with, unless you guys had some questions. If there's something specific that I could address, I'd love to do that. But that's who we are, and that's what we're out here doing. And we're excited to take on the role. Oh, I did want to add, there's a couple new downtown bicycle officers that'll be starting here next month, and so they're very excited to get going. So you'll see some new faces out there as well. So, Bettina, do you know if there's anything specific that people had questions about?
Yeah, well, thank you so much. It's great to see you on this call, and we're very happy that you're in the role that you're in. One thing that I think might be helpful for you to clarify for folks is the downtown sergeant position. That's a rotating position, correct?
Absolutely. Like all of our assignments pretty much in the police department are on a rotational basis. And so for 2 years, I'll be in this position for about 2 years. And then it gives an opportunity for some new faces, new ideas to come in and get to know everybody. And so that's why you might see some rotation. Sergeant Kevin Smith, I'm sorry, correction, Kevin Phillips just retired. He was your previous downtown sergeant. So that's when I took over. And Kevin's very happy in his retirement out in Texas right now, in case you guys were familiar with Kevin. So I'll be with you guys for the next 2 years, and so you can count on that. And then we'll get a new person in. And same thing with our the bicycle officer positions. They're on a 3-year rotation. So every 3 years, those officers will cycle out, and we'll get some new, fresh officers in there to experience that. And then again, they bring some fresh ideals and things that they want to be involved in. And actually, especially with the downtown position, it's really good to have a rotation, because although it's a lot of fun to be on the bike, but 3 years is about the amount of time you want to spend on a bicycle.
Got it. Well, we're a biking community, so I think the city manager probably spends about 3 years for every 5 years on a bike. But yes, I
You get a lot
totally hear
more
you.
miles than I think any of our bike guys do, for sure.
Yes, totally. I have another question about the jails that you mentioned.
Yes.
Can you give some more clarity on what types of crimes maybe were jailable offenses that aren't now?
Absolutely. So, I mean, a kind of a staple with a lot of our problematic people that would be problematic for you. Drug-related crimes are a lot of times what made that a little bit easier to take care of. because although they were causing some kind of issue, that issue that they were causing for your business or for you personally or your neighborhood wasn't necessarily illegal itself. But the tools that we would use would be the crimes that were illegal, and drugs are something that fell into that category. As it is right now, things that possession of, say, methamphetamine or heroin, which was a felony not that long ago, is now a citable offense. Like, we're supposed to write them a ticket and let them go on their way. The problem with that is these people are going to continue to do exactly what they were doing before, and so it takes some of our tools away that, to help the neighborhood, to help the business. So with so some of those drug related crimes being decriminalized, marijuana is another one. It's even a legal business now. There's still portions of it that are illegal, but these are still things that could cause issue for a neighborhood, and these would be some of the tools that we might use. The jail is still accepting people that are publicly intoxicated, where they can't care for themselves. So that's a misdemeanor, a lower level crime that they'll still accept. It really comes down to the liability of not accepting that arrest. But pretty much any other misdemeanor right now, aside from, say, a domestic violence misdemeanor, the jail isn't able to accept. And it's under the guidelines of COVID. They're trying to protect the inmates that are already in there, and also the work population that's in there from COVID. And so,
Oh, you muted yourself.
To help out whatever the problem is that isn't necessarily illegal, but if there's still being a crime being committed, then that's something we could do about. And so now with like the decriminalization of a lot of these drug-related crimes, the best we could do is write them a ticket and send them on their way. And for a lot of these people, they don't necessarily show up to court on those, and then they'll eventually go to a warrant. But even right now, the jail's not accepting any of these misdemeanor warrants. So this weekend we had this problem where we had in downtown, one of our frequent flyers that we deal with on a regular basis had 6 warrants for his arrest, and was involved in some nefarious activity in downtown that wasn't necessarily illegal, but it gave us a good reason to talk to him. And so we did what we would normally do and try to solve a problem, prevent any thefts or burglaries, and we arrested him, took him to jail, and the jail refused to take him. And so he's back out in downtown right now. He was back out in downtown an hour later. So it's just really making it tough for us right now. And we understand that they have a difficult task to do, and they're trying to work through that as best they can as well. But just know when we come out, we're working through the tools that we have available to us, and doing the best that we can.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think we'll want to have you back on again. I know there's a lot that we could discuss, and I'm sure people can come up with other questions. So maybe in January, we can invite you to come back again and have this be a regular thing.
Yeah, I'd love to. And then if anybody's looking for it, Bettina, if you can just pass on my email address or my work cell phone, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have of a private nature, or if you want to talk about maybe ways we can improve the security of your business, or even if you have some ideas for the downtown metro team or for me, let me know.
Great, thanks. Yeah, we'd love to have you drop that in the chat. And thanks for being with us.
I'll see if I can figure out how to drop that in the chat.
Okay, Rachel could probably help you out too.
Great.
Okay, thanks so much. Up next, our normal report from Cal Poly. Courtney Kino is actually out this week on vacation, so she did provide a written report, and I'm going to invite Rachel to share that with us right now.
Yes, thanks, Bettina. So Courtney shared the updates from Cal Poly regarding the approved plans for winter quarter. Some of the major points include that Cal Poly has developed a comprehensive plan for winter quarter in conjunction with county public health and other health experts that is supported and endorsed by SLO County Public Health Director, Dr. Penny Borenstein, and the CSU. Also, similar to fall, the plan includes de-densified on-campus housing and limited in-person classes. They are implementing specific improvements from the fall quarter to the upcoming winter quarter, including they've developed in-house capacity for widespread testing, as many as 4,000 students per day, and they're requiring all students, whether they live on campus or they live in the SLO community and take classes virtually, to be tested as often as twice per week. If those students skip their tests, they will be given the ability to access they will have their ability to access university resources restricted until they do go get a test. They have also increased capacity for isolating any infected students on campus. For winter, they're adding about 50 beds to their on-campus isolation capacity for a total of 236 beds. They are also implementing the staggered return of on-campus students in the first week of the quarter. These changes will help ensure the safety of our community because any infections of students, whether they live on campus or off campus in the SLO community, will be known quickly and they will be isolated immediately. The context is also very important. They know that thousands of students would be coming to live in SLO community even if they didn't allow students to live on campus and were 100% virtual. They saw this happen last spring and over the summer, and this plan gives them the ability to actively monitor the students, test them, and influence their behaviors. As always, Courtney is available if you have any questions. I'll post her contact information in the chat, and she sends her best for a lovely holidays and to stay safe and well. With that, Bettina, I'll turn it back over to you.
Great. Thank you, Rachel. I know that was a lot of information for people to digest, but I think it's important to note that we will have people, we will have students coming back to live on campus and in our community, and that Cal Poly is doing everything they can to increase the testing and isolation for positive cases. So I'm afraid I can't take any questions about that because I don't work for Cal Poly, but thought it would be helpful for you to have that update. So thank you, Rachel. Up next, we're going to invite Lee Johnson from the city of SLO. Good morning, Lee. How are you today?
Good morning, Bettina. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, everybody. We're kind of not looking forward, but interested to see what the COVID numbers, case numbers from the weekend look like. That will kind of give us a direction on where things are headed. So stay tuned for that from the county. We also have the Buy Local bonus program out there with the gift cards and where people can shop downtown, spend $100, shop in the city of SLO, spend $100 on retail or restaurants, and turn it in via the chamber for a $20 gift card. Really appreciate the chamber's help on getting this stood up and going. We've had just over 100 businesses, I think, apply to be part of the program for us to have gift cards. And now we're focused on the consumer side. We spent early last week getting businesses signed up. So we had an array of gift cards and things for people to participate and get rewarded. And now this week, end of last week and into the weekend and this week, we'll be focusing on the consumer side. That program will continue to run for as long as we have funding. So that's going. The grant program is being finalized as we speak. Hopefully by the end of the week, we have the application program open, and that will go through at least January 8th. We'll see how that goes. And then just to remind everybody, on our business resources page, COVID-19 business resources page, there's ways to sign up to be on all the maps that we have and also to be kind of featured in our support local programs. There's a form to fill out to be in that. So we're continuing to work on the various things that we can to help everybody out. I should also, just to make sure we're all on the same page, if you are in the enforcement process for a COVID-19 violation, so if you're not following the guidelines and you have been warned or cited by code enforcement, you cannot participate in any of the other programs, including parklets, Buy Local bonus, and the grant program. So all of those programs require that you follow the COVID-19 guidelines. Some people have not been aware of that, apparently, not reading the things on the application or on their encroachment permit itself. So just to be aware of that, that's not something we want to do. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that people are following the guidelines. Otherwise, we will be continuing to figure out what else we can do and how we can help people and get through the holiday season and then into January, February, and March. So, end of report for today. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thanks, Lee. Did you want to provide any clarification on the stay-at-home order and when it is, how it would expire and what would come next if we get to that point, with the understanding that we're not there?
Okay. No, I'm just kidding. It's hard to say. As far as I know, at least as of today, the state hasn't necessarily said that the stay-at-home order will be extended, but we were not meeting the targets across the regions, and the state is in pretty dire shape. So I don't envision that they're going to release us from the regional stay-at-home order. If we get approval to be grouped as the 3 separate counties, Ventura, Santa Barbara, and ourselves, and come out of the stay-at-home order, depending on our capacity, if we're above the 15% sooner, that's a possibility. As far as I know, we have not received the okay to do that. And I think Ventura hit the 0% late last week. So that doesn't help us too much. So we get a chance to come out of it when the numbers improve, but based on what's been happening, I think that's going to be a little while down the road. I'm also concerned personally, that if we're not in compliance across the 3 regions, so if there are cities or jurisdictions or enforcement processes that aren't being followed, or if people are making statements that they won't enforce, that makes it less likely that the state will allow us to be in our own grouping, I would guess. So we'll see what happens. We don't have any word yet, and we're all continuing to pay attention. We'll be watching it over the holidays very closely and see where we stand.
And for clarification, the city council did write a letter saying...
They wrote a letter basically supporting the efforts by the public health and county commissioners from the 3 counties to put us into our own region. So they basically said that they support that, and it comes down to trusting, public health and following what those guidelines are. But we did support that. The city council voted to support that.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. And I hope you have some good time off, and I'll probably talk to you later today, I'm guessing.
I would imagine.
All
Happy
right.
holidays, everybody. Stay safe, and talk to you next year.
Great. Okay, up next, Jim D'Antona from the SLO Chamber. How are you, Jim?
I am great, Bettina. How are you?
Pretty good. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, you guys almost covered a lot of the stuff that we're going to really be focusing on going to the end of the year. Bettina, you started, obviously. We're definitely watching how the federal stimulus package will come out and what that will mean for our businesses. So certainly we are planning to get all of that filtered out and out to our membership as soon as possible, just so we know what's available. Certainly PPP was a second round of PPP was on the table. Certainly all of those other parts of unemployment are really important pieces. And obviously the standard to the payments to individuals. So all of that kind of coming together, we'll see what gets signed by the president, when that gets officially announced, and reading through all that to filter. Additionally, Lee covered 2 of the big pieces, obviously still working very closely with them on the buy local bonus program. Our team has been processing those. So we are getting people dropping off their receipts or emailing us their receipts, so we could start getting those gift cards back out to those individuals and get them spending more money. And hopefully by this week, we will have the announcement for the grant program that the city has planned, that we are working very closely with them on to get up and running again. Again, $500,000 the city has set aside for grants. Assume that'll be $105,000 grants, which is the plan. but really kind of focusing on those key spots of folks who are completely shuttered and prioritizing in that direction, moving down the list to folks who are, you know, moderately open to folks who are kind of fully open through that list. As again, Lee brought up, if you are in any of those citations or going through the administrative process, you aren't eligible for them. So that's key. And as he talked about, of course, the piece of, you know, working through that county issue, having cities within both Santa Barbara County and SLO County actively saying they aren't going to follow the order is not helping us at all. So we're really it looks like we're going to be stuck here unless something changes, though. We'll certainly keep because we're working closely with our chamber brethren up and down the coast on that issue, both in Santa Barbara County and Ventura County. And so I would just say, and then, so we'll get all that information out ASAP as soon as we have all of it. And then just finally, we're also, since we've finished out, I didn't know if anybody had a chance to see our Silver Linings program. It was great. We got to see Bettina on there talking about what she's thankful for in the downtown at Good Morning SLO. And so we're getting ready. We have our annual passes for next year, getting ready to launch. And so through the end of the, up until our first program, we have a discount. So just make sure to check that out because we want to see you at our annual programs. We're going to be back come January doing it again. And, you know, I think we've got it down to some really great connection points. So it's a pleasure seeing everyone and wishing everybody a happy holidays and hope you all stay healthy out there as everything continues to change and moderate.
Great. Thank you, Jim. Really appreciate you joining us every week over the last 9 months. I think one of the silver linings for me out of this crazy year has been the continuity that has been formed between Downtown SLO and the Chamber. We are two similar organizations that are different. And I just really appreciate the fact that our teams can work in parallel with one another and together when appropriate. So thank you.
Thank you for everything you guys are doing. You guys are great, and we love working with you guys.
Great. Okay, and speaking of what we are doing and how it is great, that was a perfect segue. Thank you, Jim. I'm going to invite Whitney Cheney to join us now and tell us a little bit about the amazing impact that we've had communicating and marketing for downtown in general. So Whitney, are you out there?
I'm here.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I believe Rachel is going to assist me with the presentation part of this. But yes, we have compiled all the data over the year of what we've been up to in terms of marketing and communication. And as we were pulling all of these numbers, it was pretty insane seeing what our small but mighty team has managed to get done over the course of the year. We started this, everything you're seeing here is kind of from March. So when everything kind of shut down and started. Since March, we've done 91 email campaigns that have been sent out to the public, as well as our members as a combined total. On average, our emails are being opened 35%. The standard industry rate is 15 to 25%, so we're well above that. And the average click-through rate, which means someone's clicking on a link that we've included, is 5%, and the average industry standard is 2.5. So we're above that as well, which is pretty cool. Over the last 9 or so months, we've had in the past 30 days, we've had 416 new followers on Instagram. Impressions, which is when the Instagram photo is seen somewhere within the algorithm, whether it's on an explore page, whether someone's clicking on a hashtag, whatever that may be. The reach within the past 30 days has been 229,117 times. So that's a pretty significant amount with just kind of, we don't do any sponsored posts on Instagram. So this is all just kind of organic reach, which is pretty cool. On Facebook, 7,298 people have been reached within the past 30 days. And the post engagement on Facebook is up a whopping 101%. 2,955 post engagements have happened. Rachel, next slide, please. Some more fun numbers for you. On Facebook, we have 6,100 followers. On Instagram, we have 8,293. I actually updated that this morning. We gained about 45 or so over the weekend. And 3,769 people are subscribed to our delivery. So that is the audience as a total, includes our members, key stakeholders, and all that kind of stuff. But we definitely want to grow our numbers. We would love to get our Instagram up above 10,000 so we could have that nifty little swipe up feature. Hopefully that'll be a goal for us next year. In terms of radio impressions, I went a little nerdy and found some stats from Nielsen Ratings. The morning show for KZOZ 93.3. So if you guys don't know, we do a weekly radio spot every Wednesday. It airs either live on Wednesday with some stations, or it's pre-recorded and airs on Thursday. I used to do just farmers market, and now I talk all things downtown. But on a weekly average, there are 25,571 morning listeners on KZOZ and 22,312 on KJUG. And I always hear from people saying they hear us on the radio, so it is a very valuable resource for us, and we're very thankful to AGM for that continued partnership. With the Friends of Downtown SLO, as you all know, we raised $13,170, which was just a phenomenal number. It needs to be shared more and more. We're so thankful for the committee that helped us and put all those programs together, all the beautiful baskets and stuff. I hope everyone's enjoying those all those gifts. With the website, if you have yet to see the website, it's phenomenal. It works super fast, which again is just such a huge thing for us. Within the last 30 days, we've had over 5,000 people visit our website, with the top day of visitors being December 4th. We had 468 people look for information on our website, which is really cool. And then just a small little number of things we've started since March. We've launched, to my knowledge, which I'm sure there's more, but we've only done 14 new projects since March. So we put together a quick list of things we've done, including Mayflowers, the We Got This kit. Yes, the Santa letters. Jackie, you are so correct. Jackie just sent me a direct message. Santa letters, which I think we're going to have some fun numbers on those to come. I will leave that to later on the presentation, but we've been busy. We've been happy to be busy. Lots of communication pieces, important communication pieces, and we look forward to having it continue to grow and reach the intended audiences. So thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Whitney. And I just want to again publicly thank you for your incredible switch from operations of a farmer's market to being our sort of chief information officer with the website, with our social media, with getting us a Google grant, which is going to generate some more SEO, both organic and paid. Really just a heavy lift, and a big thank you to our whole team. So we're excited about that. I think up next, I may have skipped somebody just a few minutes ago. So let's go back in time a little bit and talk a little bit with Gavin Hussey about the parking situation in downtown. I'm so sorry I skipped you, Gavin. Are you still there?
I'm here. Don't worry, I don't feel bad. Happy holidays. How's everyone? Yeah, so parking, we've seen a couple things happen over the last couple weeks, and you know, with the new restrictions going into place, we're trying to be as responsive as we can. So this Thursday through Sunday, there's free parking in the structures, and we'll be offering free parking again next Thursday through Sunday. Beyond this, we have opted to extend the 2-hour grace period in the structures through the end of January. So anyone can park in the structures for the first 2 hours free. We are encouraging people to use that. We saw good success with that over the last few months, so we'll like to see that continue. Our numbers in the structures, the first 2 weeks, weekends in December, were pretty positive overall. We saw about 61% occupancy the first weekend of December when the restriction went into place, and then we were down to about 53%, I want to say, last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, in the structures. So metered spaces are still high priority. They are still receiving about 65% on Sundays and about 85% occupancy on Saturdays. So people are utilizing parking still. They're still coming to downtown, which is great to see. We are looking at creating a tiered approach to respond to COVID. So like COVID goes to a tier, we'd like to have a tiered response for that. I will be hopefully rolling that out this Thursday in the parking flyer that we'll get out to the community. But we want to make it more uniform and be as responsive as we can to the impacts that are happening to our city. And beginning in January, we are putting in pay stations around the downtown core. So hopefully the first week of January, you'll see those start to go in. Great thing about this is it's going to open up our sidewalks. So we'll have a lot more room on our sidewalks for people to move around and be socially distant.
Three cheers for that. That's fantastic, Gavin. Thank you very much. I also wanted to ask you, because I forgot to ask Lee earlier, do you have a report on the Marsh Street Bridge by any chance? I know the road top went down. Is it open?
Yeah, it's not open yet. So I was told it's by the end of this week. They're expecting to have it reopen. I'm not sure if we're going to have a groundbreaking ceremony with ribbon cutting, but I would hope we do. So it should be open by next week at the latest.
Okay, great. And actually, I filmed a video last week for a virtual groundbreaking. So I think that will be coming soon. And our board president, Pat Arnold, is probably overlooking the Marsh Street Bridge right now. So he can maybe give us a direct report on whether people are walking across it right now. But wow, it's great. I mean, I was telling somebody last week, like, if we hadn't had a pandemic, that would have been the news story about downtown. And instead, it's just kind of quietly been happening in the background, or loudly if you're Pat. So Gavin, you may have mentioned this too, but the pay stations, how long will that installation take? How long are you planning for the installation to take, I should say?
So the vendor gave us a 15 business day window to get the work completed. They're expecting it not to take more than a week and a half. So we're hopeful that by mid-January, all the pay stations we purchased will be in place, and we'll be able to remove all the meter heads in those areas.
Amazing. That's great. Well, thank you very much.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too. Okay, and we see a couple of things in the chat about the Santa letters. So I'm going to invite Cassidy Shovelin, our AmeriCorps member VIP, to talk a little bit about the Letters from Santa program and that huge success that it's been.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Bettina. Hello, everyone. Yeah. So just pretty briefly, we just wanted to share some numbers and just continue spreading that Christmas cheer. We wrote back letters from Santa this year. As you all know, we sadly could not have visitations with Santa, but it was incredible. Huge success. We had about 580 letters received, possibly more. I just collected some more after the weekend. So that box was always full. It was a fun little boost of energy for me every time I got to check the box. But out of those letters, we were able to mail back over 400, probably close to 450, were letters that we received with addresses. So we were able to get back out there. But the biggest success was that we had about 35 volunteer Santa writers. I know some of you are on the call. I saw Leanne and Jackie. You all were so wonderful, so helpful. I believe one day, Jackie, we were emailing and I was like, yeah, I collected about 100 letters today. You know, let me know if you and your crew, I don't know, 20, you know, however many. And without any hesitation, give me all 100. My elves were ready. And so it was just, it's been so encouraging to see how we reimagined this and just the help that all of you wonderful volunteers gave. And we're really, really thankful for that. And yeah, it was just fun. You know, the kids are so sweet, so funny. And a really, really cool activity. So yeah, we just wanted to say thank you. And these are some kudos that we've received so far. Really, really thrilled that, you know, kids are receiving their letters and it's bringing some Christmas joy in such a unique and tough time. So yeah, thank you to everybody who participated. And as we head into the new year, you know, we're very excited for continued volunteer opportunities. You know, reimagining ways that people can get involved with us. So I'll drop my email in the chat. And yeah, if you would like to volunteer with us, reach out and hopefully, you know, in the new year, we'll keep all this good spirit going. So yeah, thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Thank you, Cassidy. It was just wonderful to see this happen and so fun to get the responses back. And we're really grateful that you're part of our team. We originally applied to be part of the AmeriCorps program thinking that we would have somebody coordinating volunteers for farmers market. And that is not what happened this year. But since you joined us in September, it's really just been a gift to have you around with your positive spirit. And I know you've done incredible work engaging the volunteers. So thank you. And all the volunteers, I think, appreciate you as well. So that's great. We are going to take a few minutes to lead you through a little bit of an interactive exercise now to close out our year. Our board met a couple of weeks ago, and we had the opportunity to use a function in Zoom that you probably don't know exists. And so I'm going to show you a little fun thing to do. If you have stepped away and you're looking at your email, maybe this would be a good time for you to come back in. And each year, or every 2 years, the City of San Luis Obispo goes through a priority setting goal session around their 2-year budget. And you've heard about this if you've been on the calls recently. There was a giant survey that was sent out. A lot of you may have participated in that. Hopefully you did. The deadline for participating in that was on Friday. Our organization historically writes a letter to City Council making recommendations on what we think are the best priorities for downtown vitality over the next 2-year budget cycle. And our board did some brainstorming over at the last board meeting that we had. And we're going to ask you all to do some prioritization in Zoom of the items that our board of directors came up with. So those of you who are on the board can kind of lead the way and show how easy this is. And I'm going to ask Rachel to put up on the Zoom screen right now the list of items that we'd like that our board brainstormed. So if you can go ahead and share that, and then I'm going to lead you through how you can use Zoom in a way to do interactive commenting. So this is kind of like the exercise you may have done at the Vets Hall before, where you put Post-its up on different things that you find you want to call out. So if you're looking at your Zoom screen, you should see at the top of the screen a little a thing that's called your view options. And under that view options box, you should have fit to window, a bunch of percentages. And then down there under exit full screen, you should have a menu item that says annotate. So if you select that, you are then going to see mouse, text, draw, and stamp. And if you select stamp, you will be able to put a star on Zoom. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing right now. Or you can put a heart as well. So what we're going to ask you to do now, and I'm going to go ahead and erase those because you can erase the ones that you put on, but you cannot erase the ones that you're, oh wait, I can erase the ones that somebody else put on. Uh-oh, okay. If you have put in hearts, I am sorry if I erased you. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to ask you if it's something that you love, that will equal 2 points. And if it's something that you like, please put 1 point, put a star. So hopefully you all can find that annotate feature. Are you all having any luck? Are you totally confused and lost? I see some people are putting hearts up there. It is again under the view options. Look at all those hearts. So we have a number of things under here. We have the zigzag lights. Yes, so if you are in your Zoom window and you see the view options menu at the top of your screen, it should say you are viewing Rachel Maiorino's screen in green, and then it'll say view options. If you drop down under there, it will say that under one of the menu options is annotate. So go through here and show us what you like or what you love. And you can like and love things as much as you like or as much as you care to. Looks like some of you are catching on here. This is very cool. Some of the things are big and exciting. Some of them are pretty vague. There are things like establishing an artist residency, setting up art studios and vacant storefronts. There are things like a new trash can with compost options. So please put your hearts and stars. If you could try to keep them on the row, it doesn't really matter what column you put them in. We're really looking for the row. then we're going to use this as we move forward to prioritize what we want to advocate for in our letter that we write to the City Council for the next 2-year budget cycle. And we'll be bringing the text of that to one of the future Zoom meetings. And if you have other ideas that you think are missing that our board of directors did not come up with, please put them in the chat, or you can email us at reachus@downtownslo.com. We love to hear from you because we know that you are in downtown every day. So fun to see all of these hearts and stars begin to populate. In the past, we have advocated very much for the downtown concept plan, which is the concept plan, which is redesigned every 10 years or so, was last adopted in 2017. And some of the things that are in the downtown concept plan actually include elements of the pandemic response, such as the parklets and some expanded street closures, things like that, more bike parking, which we see now in front of the chamber. So it's interesting to see how the emergency response has met the imagination of some of the architects and designers who worked on that. But there are always lots of other ways that we can advocate for an interesting walk through the downtown, right? We are not looking for just a transaction when we come downtown, although we want the customer to have a transaction when they visit your shops and your businesses. But we also want to make sure that they're visiting multiple businesses, that when they go to eat at a restaurant, that they also shop at a shop next door. If they're staying in a hotel, they can also go shopping and eat in a restaurant, that they can visit a museum or experience live music in a venue or on the street. Lots of different ways to create a viable downtown. So I hope you all are having fun with this element. And if you have any other ideas, please drop them in the chat. We're going to keep this on for just a little bit longer. And I also want to open it up for any questions people might have at this time as we wrap up this year. I'm seeing some stars at the very bottom of the screen and at the very side of the screen. If you put stars at the bottom, can you maybe explain to me what you're trying to advocate for? Or were you just playing with the stamp? It's okay if you're just playing with the stamp. I just want to make sure we're getting an accurate count here. All right, it looks like the stars and the hearts have slowed down a little bit. Was that fun? All right, I hope you liked it. I see Rachel taking a screen grab right now, so thank you for that, Rachel. And to close out, we are going to do our final 2 polls of 2020. You know what they are. We're going to do 2 polls today. Today, what is your level of confidence for your business and for the economic well-being of downtown in general on December 21st? Let's see, I'm going to share your prior thoughts here. Whoa, that did not work. Sorry. There we go. Oh, Rachel, did you share for me? Thank you. All right, how are you all feeling today? Hopefully you're feeling maybe a little bit optimistic. Sorry, slight technical difficulties. I got so carried away with the hearts and the stars. All right, so today you're feeling somewhat optimistic. I hope it was because you were able to provide feedback in a fun and entertaining way. And we will then go into the next question, which is, what is the biggest challenge facing your business today? Is it concern about the safety of your employees and ensuring they do not become sick? Is it access to economic relief through grants or loans? Maybe the news of a new round of PPP and some other additional business grants is some comfort at this time. Is it the lack of foot traffic during a stay-at-home order? That would be totally understandable, especially as Christmas winds down. You can see the way that these answers have changed over the last few months. We're just going to take about 15 more seconds, give you a chance to fill this out, and we will end the poll. Great. All right, so we're worried about foot traffic and we're worried about consumer confidence. Totally makes sense. You're a smart group of people. And with that, we'll go into a big announcement that we're going to make at the very end. We're going to announce the winner of the holiday decorating contest. So very exciting to announce these. This year, we just had a People's Choice competition, and more than 35 businesses decorated their windows, which was really amazing to see. And I'm going to invite Whitney Cheney to tell us about who won, because you were the mastermind behind organizing the online voting. So Whitney, do you want to take it and share with us who won?
Sure. Rachel, are you able to reveal? There it is. All right, everyone. We had 1,295 votes throughout this window showcase, which is incredible. And congratulations goes to first place Jolene Bakery. They won with their incredible gingerbread cookie mission gingerbread house, including a bear fountain and all. So if you have yet to see this thing, it is in their window. It is phenomenal. I love the story behind it. Chloe, who's one of the co-owners, it's her and her husband. She grew up always going to the local hotel in the plaza during the holidays to see what kind of magical gingerbread creation the pastry chef had made. And one of her dreams was, when she got the chance to open a bakery, she wanted to recreate that and create a scene that would delight kids and inspire them and lift their spirits. And so she planned this. It took over a month of planning. It took a lot of tears, laughter, joy, lots of broken gingerbread and cookies and flour everywhere, but she was just so excited. It has lights all over it. It has little mission bells. It's such a delight to see. So if you have yet to see it, definitely go down to the creamery, check it out. You can also see the second place entry, Seabreeze Cupcakes, right down the way. It's just through the little alley. Seabreeze is an animatronic, phenomenal thing. She's got this little elf trail. It's incredible. And then Avanti with their beautiful coat hangers that look like a Christmas tree and the lights that look like shoes. Their windows got third place. It was just such a cool thing. It was so cool to see all the hard work that all of our businesses went into, and just the number of votes that were received, the number of people that just came up and said like, oh, have you seen this? And just the little details that everyone into. It really lifted your spirit. So congratulations to Jolene Bakery. We will be presenting them with an award. And yeah, if you have yet to check it out, 570 Higuera Street in the Creamery.
Great. Thank you, Whitney. And you can see all of the windows. They are, you can see them on Facebook, you can see them on our website, and you can see them in person. So they'll be up, and I imagine a number of businesses will keep their windows up a little longer than maybe they would have in normal times, because we all have a lot of things to want to keep our spirits bright. So thank you to you for your creativity in your windows. And I see that Amber Carson is on here. And I just want to say a special thanks to Amber for your incredible lift in the Light Up Downtown program. You have made our hearts sing, and I know how hard you've worked, and it's just been a pleasure to work with you and see what you're capable of. So thank you, Amber. And a round of applause from everybody for Amber for the amazing Light Up Downtown. All right. Well, with that, I hope that you all have a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate Christmas, a happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate Kwanzaa, and a very happy New Year. I am grateful for the time that you spend each Monday with us in this strange wilderness, and we'll see you again on January 4th. Thank you for your time and your service to our downtown. Please let us know if there's anything we can do to help you. We will be dark next week, but happy to see you again on January 4th. Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays.